It is the KORNer Booth Podcast, the end of one season, the beginning of another. I'm Travis Kriens. We've got Landon, Dierks. We've got Marcus Traxler here to wrap up the 94th Annual South Dakota Amateur Baseball Tournament. Just finished nearly 24 hours ago here in Mitchell at Cadwell Park, and we'll also take a look at the first fresh off of the presses here. It's so hot in my hand. The brackets, not the brackets, the polls for football. We'll preview the 9-man classes, take a look at 11B. We'll take a look at those other 11-man classes next week. So a preview of some high school football here coming up shortly. Also take a look at some of the other local entities. They've gotten their fall seasons started. Alexandria over Clark, 12-2 yesterday. It was a 9-run first for the Angels. Landon, we were there, and there were 2 runs. There were 4 runs. There were 6 runs. It's like a good start for Alexandria. They had 14 guys come up. They only had 1 extra base hit the entire game. Just peppered Clark pitching. Clark making the big run. We'll get to that in a bit. But Alexandria bats in those semifinals in the championship game with 26 runs. They put that game away very early.
Yeah, it was crazy. You didn't even get the sense that the game started, and then it felt like it was over. Dakota Munger didn't throw his first pitch until it was 9-0. And I mean, that was like a big storyline coming in, was that Alexandria was able to save Dakota Munger the whole tournament until the championship game. And that's a really good arm to have in reserve, just ready to go for a title game. And they didn't even need that kind of strength. It was, an absolutely dominant performance. And the first time they reclaimed that crown since 2020. A lot of excitement afterward. About the only thing that went right for Clark was the gentleman who won the 52 cases of beer.
He was a Clark guy.
It was at least associated with Clark, I do believe. There was a lot of cheering on the Clark Clark section when they announced his name.
Chris Flatten, Corey Flatten.
I think it was Corey Flatten.
Corey Flatten was the winner of the beer market.
More recently around here, but I think he's from the Clark area.
All right, well, good for him. He won the big beer. He was the second big winner yesterday. Dakota Munger was the MVP. AJ Wilbur thought he was very good. I don't know. Whoever voted,
2 wins and 2 saves. I mean,
it's like, yeah, he did pretty well. He was in consideration, and I thought Charlie Dubanowski, the catcher, was very good. I thought those were the 3 guys that really carried the offense and the pitching for Alexandria. Dakota Munger hits 13 of 25 for the tournament, drives in 9, drives in 3 during the championship, goes all 7. And it sounded like he was the guy in the championship game. They were going to go with A.J. Wilbur and Alex Mizak to get to the championship game. If they got there, this was Dakota Munger's game, well rested.
And it's not even his only sport.
Yeah,
golf too.
All this stuff.
He showed up for golf practice today, I'm sure.
I'm sure he did.
Heck of a strategy, though, to say, okay, we're just going to save this guy. He's not our best pitcher, maybe not our second best guy.
But really quality arms at the top end. Wilbur, Mizak, and Munger. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Well, Wilbur had 5 saves when he got the save in the quarterfinal round. And I mean, so to legitimately have one of your guys that you do use as a closer from time to time.
He's your best starter, and you use him in close games.
So that's
good job.
Pretty good.
Ooh, good pitching there. So I think what people are going to remember this tournament, though, is for Clark reaching this championship game. They beat the Wood Ducks 7-6 on Saturday night. The big dramatic win versus the Del Rapids Mudcats on Friday, 8-7 on the walk-off home run from Zach Tobin. They got a nice win versus Tabor in that second round. So I think when you look back at this tournament, like the first thing you're going to think of is the Clark Traders made it all the way to the championship game. They lost by 10, but, I mean, they made it there, and as improbable of a run as we've had, probably anybody in this room can remember, it was a surprise last year that the Rays and the Gamecocks made it. They were good teams. It was a surprise that they made it. The Platte Killer Tomatoes made it 2 years ago. That was a bit of a surprise. But if you're ranking these teams 1 through 32, I'm not sure you're putting Clark in that top 20, and somehow they made it all the way here to the championship.
Well, yeah, when I went back and I was just doing some prep for the title game and a little bit of pre-writing for context of how they got there. They had won 1 game between June 12th and July 25th. They played Castlewood, a good team. I believe 3. Is it Castlewood? Yeah. Castlewood 3 times. They got 10-run ruled by Castlewood all 3 times. They played Volga, who won that Eastern Dakota League twice, and they got 15-run ruled by Volga both times.
Was it Millbank did not make the tournament? Millbank was one of those teams they played and they lost.
Millbank, they played during the regular season. That was one of their 10-run rule defeats during the regular season. That was a team I think they beat in the EDL tournament or the District 1B tournament rather, to reach the state tournament. They won 6 games in the postseason after they won 4 games in the regular season. You just don't see that. And it's almost bizarre because you can see that there's quality on that team. It's bizarre that they had so many struggles during the regular season up to this point. Don't really know what to chalk that up to, just didn't get to see them enough, but a really wild run, and it was fun to watch. I mean, I don't know anyone who you could talk to, maybe other than the fans of those teams that they knocked out, that would dispute that.
If I'm reading this correctly, first EDL team to make the championship game since 1991, again when Lake Norton made it.
There's a lot of good stats you could look up based on this.
But unfortunately for them, the first 10 or more championship game in Class B is in about 2 decades. So this is just, we talked about how they barely got past Wessington Springs. They happened to have 3 one-run wins in the 4 games to get to the championship game. You can't really dispute it. One of them was a walk-off over a lot of teams. They were my pick to win the whole thing, Del Rapids Mudcats. Like you said, I think a lot of people are going to remember that as being a pretty incredible moment. I think once they got to the semifinals, it was kind of even Steven, and it was a close game with the Wood Ducks, and they were able to beat them. And then, at some point, everybody's luck runs out except for the team that wins it all. And unfortunately, they just had a really bad day on Sunday. And it's good to have a surprise team every once in a while because that's what makes the tournament fun. It's a lot like March Madness in that way, where there's no loser's bracket or there's no second chances. It's what can you do on that given day. And so for the Clark Traders to make this run, pretty cool.
You had 4 Corn Belt teams in the final 8. So you had 2 Sunshine League teams. You had 2 EDL teams. So, and we talked about the lack of upsets. It was pretty much Clark had all the upsets. There were a couple other games like, Wood Ducks over Canova 11-6 in the quarters. But Clark had, by far the biggest upset and maybe the second and third biggest upsets of this tournament. So outside of them, those upsets never really developed. But you get that big Cinderella run all the way to the end.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of funny that we talked about what was the story of the first weekend, the Corn Belt's dominance. Well, we played the championship game and we didn't have a Corn Belt team.
Yeah.
That's always possible that it happens. And we gave the Parks and Rays great credit last season for beating all these Corn Belt teams. Well, the Clark beat Corn Belt teams in the quarters and the semifinals.
They were the only team to beat them
to get to that point.
They were 9-0, and then they were 9-2. Corn Belt teams were 9-2 in the tournament when they did not play. Alexandria beat PBR. So they
Salem lost in the first round.
Forget about Salem. So Clark knocked them off twice. Yeah.
Of the 3 losses that the Corn Belt took to non-Corn Belt teams,
yes,
2 of them were in the semis and 1 was in the quarters. I mean, if you'd have looked at that quarterfinal field, you would have bet a pretty solid sum of money that at least one Corn Belt team would be in the title game, and you ended up with none. That was maybe the most stunning development for me.
That's why we don't bet on sports.
Oh,
is that right? You're feeling sleepy, Landon.
Am I?
All ready for this? You ready?
I don't. Oh, Wood Ducks really lurking in this. They kind of get buried down there with the very last pairing of the whole first round. I don't think a lot of people probably realize that they're 16-6.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really good Corn Belt team. That was a Wood Ducks team we saw make the quarters. I think the last time they were in the tournament 2 years ago. I don't think they made it last year. So, yeah, I think they're scary. That's a Wood Ducks team that if you told me they were in the semifinals or the final, I don't know that I'd be completely shocked. Wow, color me surprised.
They made it all the way to the semifinals. Your Hartford Humboldt Wood Ducks.
Sitting in front of us, not shocked. There he is.
Good run. They beat Canova. They get past Four Corners. What a game for Four Corners. They beat Flandreau. So good run.
I'm sure you don't have the clip ready, but
we looked back and that was the best I could think.
Clark was the dark horse I
identified. You said a little bit, but who'd you pick between Clark and Wessington Springs?
I picked Wessington Springs.
So there's that. And Wessington Springs should have won that game.
Right.
So you did mention Clark. I did some, then you said you picked.
You were all about Mount Vernon, and I at least gave you a team that made all the championship.
I was all about the Del Rapids final. PBR did me dirty in the semis, and the Mudcats couldn't even get that far. So good tournament. Anything else you remember? I guess Alexandria, 14 runs. It looked 14-5. Looked like that was going to be a 7-run game in the semis on Saturday night versus PBR. Looked like we were going to have a 5-inning game there on Sunday, but it does go 7. And I guess the mix of young guys, they still got some of those veterans out there, but we'll see how this roster changes throughout the years. But they've got those young guys who now have the championship experience, because it certainly looked like they were a bit jittery in that first game versus Crofton, and they made it past that, and they pretty much eased their way through the rest of this tournament.
Well, Alexandria, right, wrong, or otherwise, has always had the advantage of accurately or doing a good job of mining their connections to DW, and that's something that could happen in every market, so to speak, if you were around Brookings or Sioux Falls or whatever. And so they've exploited that better than anybody. And then I think to their credit, they have 4 or 5 players that have at least been on the roster all 6 times they've won a state championship, going back to the early 2010s. So there's at least a part of that core that's been there the entire time. And that is pretty hard to do. I know Del Rapids PBR won all those titles in the 90s, and I'm sure they had guys that won 6 titles, but that currently we just don't see that very often.
And I always thought you see all these former Mitchell Colonels sprinkled here and there. Like if they all got together on one team, like that'd be a really good team. But there are a couple here, a couple in Mount Vernon, a couple in Alexandria.
It's far more interesting than somewhere else, though.
It's like, but they're not in on any of these good teams. It's like, so
I know
if only one.
I know last year, one of you made the point that the Parkston Rays were basically entirely Parkston players and Mitchell players. So you got your title last year with the Mitchell representation. Yeah. Didn't so much as happen this time around.
12 days of this tournament. Other highlights for you, Landon. Weather was pretty good. We had the rain on Saturday, and that was nice to have the push that A tournament to Drake so we could concentrate on the real baseball, the important baseball at Cadwell Park. And wherever you go with the tournament, I don't know what they would have done elsewhere, because that was they did a really good job managing the weather there on Saturday.
I think the overarching thing I'll remember, other than the Clark run, is how Alexandria came alive in the semis and final. I mean, I think they looked shaky late in that Volga game, and that maybe shook a couple people's confidence in them. But to come out and just pound Del Rapids PBR and Clark the way they did, deserving champion, absolutely. And if you're asking for one highlight, I still think I'm going back to everything. I love defense. I'm going back to that Keaton Christensen from
Kuiper.
Kenyon Kuiper.
Not Keaton Christensen. That's right. The Kuiper kid.
Kenyon Kuiper. Yep.
How could I forget? He's from Platt. He doesn't even play for
Parks.
That's why I couldn't remember.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't remember. I apologize. Just gunning down the runner at the plate in the Parkston Rays versus Gamecocks game right off the rip. You just don't see outfield assists like that from anybody, let alone a Legion kid. That was fun to be in the ballpark for. Just a relatively unique play that you don't see at the amateur tournament a lot. Seeing guys get gunned down at the plate from the outfield like that.
You had a big crowd on that first Sunday. You had Parkston and PBR. You had Parkston and Kimball White Lake in that second round matchup. Then pretty big crowd. What was it, Thursday? You had Alexandria, you had PBR, and the Parkston Mudcats all in action, and good crowds this weekend, so I'm sure they're happy about that. I got a couple free brats yesterday. I had one brat I was expecting, then I got another one for some reason. I'm like, thank you for 2 brats before this ball game. Anything else, Marcus, that you got, some extracurriculars from this tournament? We had a couple of 069s out there. That's always a crowd pleaser.
His favorite was the root beer float on...
How was that?
I was accosted for having root beer float in the press box.
Where'd this come from?
At the concession stand. But they asked me, where'd you get it from? Like,
my pocket?
Yeah. Where did you think I got it from? Taco Bell?
Yeah.
So I got a root beer float.
Can't eat the lettuce. So might as well get it.
I got a hat from Jocko Johnson that doesn't fit me at all because my head's too big.
Well, it ain't going to fit me.
So that's fine. No, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I had to miss the championship game on Sunday, so I wasn't there to see the glory of the Angels once again atop amateur baseball. But just I covered a lot of what is known as the gauntlet in that first weekend, and you always get more baseball than you can possibly handle. I mean, I think you're right. I think Clark's going to be the main storyline that I'm going to probably be remembering going forward. And I do like kind of the switch off that happened between the teams that have 2 teams in their town. Last year it was the Rays. This year the Mudcats made more of the run. Gamecocks made the run last year. Wood Ducks made the run this year. So I like that we saw the other team in each of those towns.
When is it the Blue Teal's turn?
I think the Blue Teal have an uphill climb.
Isn't it assumed the teal is blue? Wasn't that part of the deal?
I don't know.
The Blue Teal?
I couldn't say. And Castlewood, I mean, the Ravens killed off the Monarchs a few years ago, so there won't be any Monarchs answer.
We did, I think, confirm Matt Wilbur, first person to have a state title. He'd won, I think he'd probably won before, but this was post his career change, first coach in the WNBA to win a state amateur baseball championship. So
Good
some
call.
confusion about that. Or did a Gassman coach in the back days? No, it was Matt Wilbur. So one of one, Matt Wilbur being a part of that championship game. Other fall sports that have happened, a lot on the soccer end. SDSU and USD, they've got their season started. You went out to volleyball. Where do you want to start on the fall sports?
I heard it was a pretty quiet weekend of soccer in South Dakota.
Let's start there. Rapid City Central and Brookings, they got into a fight. There was a fight that everybody saw. People from wherever. We're talking about this Saturday afternoon. I'm there Saturday for the Alexandria PBR game. We are literally talking about this fight between the Brookings kid and the Rapid City Central kid.
Is it a fight?
It was pretty one-sided.
The one guy pushed. He pushed, and then he got punched. You push, you get punched. Some guy from Nashville who I talked to, he calls me, and this is what he's talking about. I say hello, and he says, Brookings, Rapid City, what the heck happened here? I'm like, well, we're literally talking about it right now. And the High School Activities Association says, you can deal with this because we're not going to. So this is something. First week of the fall sports season, a lot of people know about this. Millions of people know about this.
Your Twitter accounts that aggregate all this stuff, they aggregated. I mean, I think Barstool tweeted it out. There are all kinds of places that sent it out which if you're those accounts, all you do is retweet it. You're not adding any context. As long as you get your page views and your impressions, you don't really care about what happened. Unfortunately for both kids involved or all the kids involved, they're going to have to live with that for a while. I don't know what kind of punishment is going to be handed down for most of them. I think for the one who was doing most of the punching, I'm guessing his season's probably over. Not sure.
I think his high school athletics career should be over. I'm going to say it. Like, you just can't do that.
Yeah, maybe suspended from school for a little bit.
I mean,
we haven't seen anything like that.
It escalated it escalated 3 different times. Yeah. He pushed him over. He kicked him in the back of the head, and then he got on top of him and started punching him. I mean, any combination of the two of those things would be bad enough. He did all 3. I mean, it seems like something that just, you want to give people a second chance, but there's levels to it, and I don't think you can get away with that.
I think it cuts both ways. It's a huge deal because everybody saw it. Literally, millions of people saw this around the country. So that kid's going to have a really hard time living that down. And it's probably going to be stuck with him for quite a long time. At the same time, our best moments were never live streamed all the way across the country. So I don't know. I mean, is it a little bit unfair in that way? Maybe, but you also, part of, high school sports, college sports is you learn responsibility. And unfortunately there are consequences for your actions. I never know how the rule book basically says you're suspended for 1 game, but I think we know it's going to be more than that. How many games? I guess I'm the wrong person to ask because I don't dish out discipline every day. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I tend to agree with Landon. It seems pretty unlikely that, they're going to be back on the field anytime soon.
Mitchell Soccer picked up wins last week versus Huron, and they're back in action versus Spearfish this week. So expectations for Mitchell Soccer.
I think the girls have the potential to be decent to very solid, I would say. They have a couple pretty accomplished returning players back. Landon he talked to the girls team, so I'll let him sort of chime in. But they played a Huron team that they were just better than in the season opener, so that's probably not the best judge. Unfortunately for them, it was 9-0 when I got there, and then they didn't score again after that. But at least they got the 9 goals. That's always a plus.
Yeah, I would agree with Marcus that I think they were 5-10 a year ago, but when you look at that a little closer, 5 of those losses were by a single goal, and another one was by 2 goals to a very good peer team during the regular season. So I do think there's room for upward mobility there. They bring back 11 returning letter winners for what it's worth. Again, there's some good players in that mix. I think they can probably count themselves as being, mid-pack or maybe even a little bit higher by the time the season is over if they put together a good campaign.
Boys soccer, I think they're just going to have to try to stack as many wins as they can against the teams that they frankly should beat. One of those was Huron. They're playing some 7th and 8th graders that are not the biggest kids. And so that's going to be a challenge, I think, when you go against the tried and true AA teams that are really good. But I think this is a team that the longer they're coached by Seth Paulson, the better off they're probably going to be. They're probably learning a little bit about themselves every time they're on the field. So, I mean, I think they have a chance to hopefully be around 500. We'll have to see where things go.
I guess that's something I left out is the girls' team's coached once again by Bob Lemon.
Oh, yeah.
He was the coach for 6 years previously and had the last 3 years between Scott Mullenmeister and Kinder Decker, and now it's back to Bob. And so uniquely, the upperclassmen on this year's team would have had him when they were in middle school, but getting their start on varsity, some of the more advanced players that would have played varsity at that age. And so there is, even though he hasn't been the coach for 3 years, there is some interesting level of continuity there that came through in the conversation I had.
Golf and tennis, they've got going. USD played Nebraska to a tie, 1-1 over the weekend, and SDSU put up 11 goals versus Moorhead. So those soccer seasons have started. Thinking about a coach that's been around. Amy Tyler's been around, and now she's the head coach of Mitchell Volleyball, and they're getting ready for their first match next week on Friday. You got the Huron Tournament Invitational that first weekend, and then you go to Harrisburg. So vibes early, Marcus. Sounds like they love Amy Tyler over there.
Well, a lot of continuity between her previously being an assistant coach and then a lot of the other assistant coaches that have coached the team are still on board. So they know the coaches pretty well. I think there's 4 seniors on this team, and I think they know that, like, okay, they lost a decent chunk of their roster from last season. There's going to be some holes to fill, but almost all the names that you're going to see playing for them this season have gotten some level of varsity experience in the past. I think the main question mark is that really the spine of their team between setter and libero are both positions they're refilling. And so that will be a question they're going to need to get answered. And then, as they have had in recent years, they're going to need to develop some attackers. Now, I think they have a few between the likes of CeCe Morgan and that sort of thing. So we'll see. Nia Talley, certainly. It'll be interesting to see how that sort of develops as they go. Sounds like there could be a chance Charlie Collins is on the court at some point this season, which would be a big time plus. And so that's encouraging, I think.
Landon Hayek in that mix as well. So we will have plenty of Mitchell Volleyball on the air on KORN. Is this now the CeCe Morgan, Nia Talley era? They're both coming because it's like, okay, you're the best player on the basketball court and you might be the best players on the volleyball team, even though you are underclassmen. It's like, okay, this is maybe that era of, hey, freshmen taking over and being really good.
I'm not going to say
and
that because I have no idea how good they're going to be. Like we saw Nia Talley.
I know how good Nia Talley's is.
We saw her play. Am I going to put it all on her back and say she's got to carry the team? No, I'm not going to say that. If you want to, I'll let you.
Yeah, I think she's pretty good.
That's different than saying, is it their era?
I think it is. It's like, okay, whatever success, volleyball and probably, more specifically basketball has, like this is it. You get offered as an 8th grader to go to SDSU, you're pretty good. So.
Yeah, and I'll make that assessment, or I'll write that 4 years from now, rather than writing it right now and putting the pressure on them. Because they're high schoolers. I think it's fine to think that, but I'm not necessarily going to project that and say that that's where they should be right now.
At least he waited until they were in high school, and he didn't.
I'm stunned that he did.
Yeah, like Nia Talley last year, no worse than the 3rd best player they had in volleyball. Like it's not a lie. It's like it's what it was.
No, I think there's
I don't care how old she is. Like, she's really good. I don't think it matters if it's they're freshmen, they're 8th graders or whatever. Like, they're the best players on the team. So that's what that is. I did the Meet the Colonel interviews with the 4 seniors, so I'm going to give you, Landon, just the same questions I gave them.
Oh, boy.
How long have you been playing volleyball, and what positions do you plan on playing here this year, Landon?
Oh, my goodness.
0 and none.
Yeah, that would be 0 and none.
So go with questions that are applicable. To a favorite place to go other than home. Let's say, is there a favorite place you like? Whether it's let's broaden this out to the fall sports season. Is there a stadium that you like to go? You like, Joe Quinnell. You like the new gym. Like, hey, because a lot of people like to. Rapid City and Huron. Rapid City and Huron are the 2 big answers. Where do you like to go during the fall season?
I'm a big homer, obviously.
You can't say other than home.
No, I'm a big homer, and so I'm going to say I love hanging out at Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium.
Other than that. Is there a high school stadium?
Is there a high school?
Not the nicest stadium in the area.
I gotta say Trojan Field. Is that what it's called?
Is it Madison?
No, that's not what it's called.
Madison?
No, that's Brian Kern Family Stadium now.
Madison, yeah.
What do they have written on in Parkston?
Your HB Gary Stadium.
You like it?
They have something on the outside of that.
All right.
It's Trojan something.
Trojan
don't
Field.
I just told you what it was.
they? Okay.
That's good.
Anyway,
The vibes are all wrong on this.
this is
Because when we're taping this, it's later in the day. Nobody's as sharp as they need to be.
Well,
that's absolutely true.
good.
Yeah, we'll say Parkston because I'm down there a lot.
Okay. Do you do anything to get ready before a game? Let's say you're cruising, you got that long trip to Wagner. Like, I'm going to put on this podcast, and I'm going to put on these songs. 1993 Travis Tritt. What are we looking at here?
It's
Or
funny
just
you
whatever,
say that.
whatever.
What he does is
I would say the most listened to thing before high school football for me on my way is my 90s country playlist. So
I was going to say,
there's absolutely some Travis
I
Tritt
should
in
not
there.
interrupt you, but I was going to say, you're one of those people where you could set your phone on just songs. How many songs do you have on your iPhone?
A lot.
How many? Guess.
I mean, like my three.
Let's totally derail the show over this.
3,500.
Yeah, but you can set on any of those 3,500 and probably be happy with whatever comes up
More or
first.
less, yeah.
And there's not a lot of people that necessarily could do that.
Is there a go-to meal before or after the game? Like, we're going to stop here. We're going to go here after a late night.
Does beer count?
Yeah.
Thirsties,
Is that a
chicken tender melt.
All right.
Oh, yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, that and a nice tall Coors Light sounds pretty good to me.
Good.
Did any of the kids answer that?
Coors Light? No. And I cut it out. No. A lot of chicken Alfredo, Marcus.
Oh, okay.
A lot of chicken
Everybody
Alfredo
likes, everybody likes pasta.
and Culver's.
Yeah.
Ooh, the good taste out of those seniors.
Breaking news, the volleyball team likes the new gym. So they didn't like the old one. The old one stunk.
When I was there on Monday, the air conditioning was strong,
Good.
and you like to see that.
Do you like the hot weather you're going to get here in August, or would you like the cold weather you may get in the playoffs? If you know what, we're going to have one of these, a 95 plus or maybe a 20 and wet. Which one does Landon prefer? Shooting pictures.
Neither, but I'm always in the camp that you can put more clothes on. You can't take them off if you're hot. So
The cold?
I'd prefer a little bit on the chilly side. Absolutely.
Is it easier though to maybe do your work during the heat? When you're
I don't
taking
know.
pictures, if you're kind of keep some stats or write something down.
Yes and no,
with
but
the gloves?
I'm gonna be honest. The people
You'll
on the
take
curtain here, I'm a little heat sensitive, so like
You need the, yeah, that's right.
that's kind of a fine line. If I get too hot, my body's just gonna shut down.
True. Most used app on your phone.
I use the Notes app a lot.
Notes app. There you go.
Yeah.
There's a lot of TikTok and Snapchat.
I don't TikTok.
I don't have any of those. Though.
I don't remember where I saw it, but they were talking about maybe this was at the Twins game, most used app, and they said messages. So just sending text to people, I guess?
That's just,
I mean, messages would be up. I mean,
who was
I
that?
don't know.
Who was that for?
I don't remember.
Is anybody?
mindlessly scrolling X is probably up there for
That's
me,
what- yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, so-
but
Can catch all of those interviews right now. It's online.
Cut that
It's on
out.
Facebook. Charlie Collins.
thank you
Ivory
for subjecting
Fensky.
me to
Yes.
that. I appreciate that.
Totally
Kenna McGee, Cassidy Coors. We need a buffer.
Totally derailed the
I'll
show.
bring some
Buffer.
questions to ask Marcus next week.
Good.
No, they have to be those questions.
Those okay. We'll do that next week. Football preview. Let's start at the top here. 9AA. A lot of changes. So let's kind of go through what teams are still in this class and what teams have.
Who the
dropped
heck
down.
knows?
Who's in this? We just got the poll, so that'll help some folks figure out. Freeman and Elkton Lake Benton, your two teams in the championship game in 9AA. They are both
Goodbye.
in 9A. So Freeman in 9A and Elkton Lake Benton also in 9A. Freeman, they've got a lot to replace. But you look at 9AA and now Parkston, they received 19 of 20 first place votes. Hamlin at 2, Bonhomme at 3, Platte Geddes, they're at 4, Bridgewater, Emory, Ethan at 5. So Platte and Bridgewater, a couple teams in that top 5. Where do you look at? Let's start with Parkston. They've had a heck of a run here. They bring back some important pieces. Mason Jervik, a senior. Gage Josie, a senior. They lose Wyatt Anderson, but it does seem like Parkston's primed for another deep run here.
Yeah, they're in line to have 11 seniors this year. They only graduated 5 a year ago. We've talked about their winning pedigree over the last 4 or 5 seasons. To me, they were, I think, a pretty clear number 1, at least in the preseason at this point. You could certainly make a case for Hamlin. We'll talk about the other teams here, I'm sure, in a minute. But, I mean, Parkston, well-positioned, I think, to be a contender once again.
Let's just say it. I mean, Matt Grave has it rolling down there. They had their streak of dome trips come to an end, but they were one step away. I think this team has a chance to be better than last year's team, and last year's team was a semifinal team.
Yeah.
So I don't see a world in which they're not very good to great. I mean, they just have that much talent.
I think what's coming up here with our discussion of these 9-man classes might be something one of the most anticipated moments I've ever had doing this podcast between the three of us.
What do you got here?
Because I want to know who you put in the top 5. I want to know what did you fill one out?
No, we
what
did
do you
not.
think? Come on.
Living in fear, like usual. I want to know who your top 5 would be now, so I can hold you to it at the end of the season. But
what grade did your teacher give you when he handed out the syllabus on day 1? So here you go. Marcus gets a what?
I got all the points. They didn't give me less than that.
No points for syllabus.
Okay, so
attendance points.
You mentioned the top 5. I had 3 of those teams in my rankings.
Who did you?
I had Hamlin 2, and I did something I've never done before, Travis. I have the Hill City Rangers number 3. I really do. And then I had Bonhomme 4.
Did you vote for Sturgis 1? Is this
no, I have Bonhomme 4.
So he's one of these guys that.
Let me finish this here.
Sorry.
Bonhomme 4, Britton Heckler 5. I think it's a little bit of a leap.
The North and the West
to assume
represented. Bridgewater Emory.
I think it's a little bit early to assume that. I know Platte Geddes has some pedigree, but I'm not sure they're a top 5 team, and I think it's a little early to put Bridgewater Emory in the top 5, just because they moved down from 11B. And I don't know what. I'd love to hear who you guys would have, but that was my rationale. Hill City, for the record, has 9 seniors and 12 juniors. So that was part of my thinking. They did graduate 7 from a year ago, but I don't know. Landon?
The top 5 was Parkston, Hamlin, Bonhomme, Platte, and so
Bridgewater was 5.
In that order?
Yes. Bridgewater.
So I have my top 5 is exactly the same as that, except I just put Hanson at number 5 because I didn't know.
Instead of Bridgewater?
I think this was a product of, people, the Mitchell area teams being seen probably the most.
What, Platte moves up, Bridgewater moves down.
So here was my, I think Parks and Hamlin were going to be my 1 and 2 no matter what. And here was my rationale on Bonham and Platte. When I went back and reviewed rosters, I was reminded that both Major Arstad and whichever crown over is next in line, I think it's Isaiah, but I could be wrong. Isaac, they all have.
Isaiah, I think.
It's Isaiah. We've covered enough of them over the years, so they're all very good at what they do. But those are 2 athletes I'm very high on, and they're both back for Bonham. And that was a team that I think was a quarterfinalist team a year ago, if I recall.
Quarterfinals, yep.
And I think they could potentially take that one step further this year, and I feel pretty good about it. And then I was probably not going to be quite as high on Platte until I had a conversation with a couple of, we'll just say they're unnamed Parkston Trojans, and both of them are going to play Platte this year, and they both said that, not that they're scared of Platte, but they think Platte's going to be pretty good and a very steep challenge for them. So I put a lot of credence into what the players think in that regard, and so I put Platte higher than I probably otherwise would have. And then I really didn't know for number 5, so I just gave Hanson the benefit of the doubt. It feels like they slip in there more often than not.
You had Hill City at 3.
Yep.
Okay.
They bring back a good number of juniors and seniors. I think if we're projecting this forward, and I haven't looked at their schedule, I'm guessing it's on the softer side.
They play Parkston week 1.
Okay.
This Friday night at Hill City. Show me something.
This is what I was going to say.
Show me something, Hill City.
You know how there's this conspiracy?
Stay within 30.
That the big corporate media that fills out the AP top 25 ranks all these SEC teams so that the SEC teams at the top can get
ranked wins.
That's what maybe that's what Marcus just did. He ranked Hill City high so that if Parkston beats them, Parkston has a ranked win.
I wouldn't have a problem with that, but I think because I'm not
denying it.
I'm not worried about Parkston getting quality wins this season. That's not really the issue. I think what we had here was a pretty strange looking vacuum when 1 and 2 from last year aren't here, and 3 was Parkston, they're back. 4 is Hill City, 5 is Hamlin, 6 Bonhomme, again, worthwhile to be ranked in the top 5. I don't have any problem with that. 7 was Viborg Hurley, lost a lot. 8, this is seeding from last year. Britton Heckler, who I had ranked. Kimball White Lake, not in this class. Hanson was 10. You go down this list.
I would have ranked Kimball White Lake if
Kimball White Lake would have been in this class. I would have ranked them.
They were 4th in 9A, yes.
But I think the group below, Parkson and Hamlin is going to be one that moves around a lot. I also am reminded that you put a big target last year on, well, Freeman's not going to be ranked because they're going to get beat in the first game by Parkston. Well, that didn't end up happening. They didn't end up losing at all.
That's right.
So if Hill City gets beat in the first game, maybe they're not any good, or maybe they'll be fine. I don't know, but at least they're getting challenged with a game that we know Parkston's a legit litmus test in the first week.
I just want to know how that got drawn as a matchup. Was there no available opponents between Hill City and Parkston?
I mean,
And I would like to play a game against somebody here before Halloween, because here's what I will say for these
that's
classes.
a long trip.
I think Parkston goes undefeated, wins the whole thing. I think Hill City loses this game to Parkston, and then they don't lose the rest of the regular season. And we'll see. They
might have to come back this way in the playoffs.
Based on seeding, is Hill City the 2, the 3, the 4, and 7-1. What's that get you? So that's what I think. 9AA. I think Parkston rolls pretty much everybody. They're at Platte week 2. So post August, they've got 2 road games. So if Parkston's good and they're at home for the playoffs, they're at Hill City, they're at Platte, then they have to go to Stanley County. They got the short trip to Hanson, so they could be home. Therefore, I mean, they are home for 4 of the last 6 weeks, and you think a couple playoff games there. So get your road trips done early. They've got some long drives to the central and western parts of the state. So Hill City 1 loss, Parkston undefeated. They win the whole thing. We'll see if they match up somewhere along the line.
I had a long drive this morning, and so I listened to some of our season preview from a year ago, and we said basically the exact same thing about winter, about how they didn't have any away games at the end of the year. They could be home all the way through October and November, and then they were 6-5. So, these are preseason projections. They're meant to be wrong, I guess, in some ways. I guess I'm maybe staking my claim. I'm staking my reputation, what's left of it, to Hill City here in the very start of the season. But
is it close this Friday against Parkston, or
I don't know. I think the fact that it's out west probably would.
Is it within 20 points, or will they pull off the upset?
I also think there's a little bit of these teams that the Hill Cities, who I would put in this bucket of, you play legit teams in your class and lose in the playoffs. I think that teaches you something. At some point, you can't. I'm guessing they're not sitting there going, "Well, we're good enough. We just had a bad day." Like when you lose to the Freemans, like they did a couple years ago. If they don't beat Parkston, I'm sure they're going to draw from it, and they're going to know what needs to be done later in the year. Am I sitting here saying I think they're going to win the state championship? No, but I do think they're one of the top 5 teams, at least as we start the season, based on what we know. And I think what's unproven about some of these other teams. Now, granted, should I probably be more trusting of a coach like Jeff Van Loo, who might be literally the best 9-man coach in South Dakota history? Maybe, but I want to see a couple games play out first.
Hill City only lost to Freeman in the playoffs by 10, 36-26. So a good showing for Hill City last year in the playoffs. Parkston at 1, Bridgewater, Emory. That'll be interesting to see.
And Ethan.
Yeah, and them too. So are they at the top of that class? We will see. 9A, you have Freeman at 1, Howard at 2, Elkton Lake Benton at 3, Kimball White Lake at 4, and Castlewood at number 5. So Freeman, Elkton Lake Benton, Howard. You like Kimball? This is a pretty stout top 4 when you got Champ moving down, runner up moving down. Howard's always there. They reached the final last year, so this. I don't know, on paper, I like this class more than any other as far as like really good teams.
Really?
Yes, because
not 9B.
No, 9. Yeah. Well, we'll get to 9.
We're going to get to 9B.
There's really no local team. There's Avon, but it's
9B's pretty legit this year, I would say.
I think Wall. So Howard always good. Freeman, they got a lot to replace, so we'll see who replaces those guys. Riley Cheddar. Yeah. I mean, they got a lot of dudes to replace. So I do like this class with 2 AA teams moving down a spot.
Freeman had 8 guys graduate. They've got 6 seniors this year. Elkton Lake Benton had 10 guys graduate. They have 8 seniors. So it'll be interesting to see where things go there. Mm-hmm. I didn't get through every team in this class looking at what they had last season.
Freeman started 3 sophomores on both sides of the ball. And so those 3 guys will be, just incredibly important to what they're doing. I think that's Easton Cheddar, Tayden Kerrigan, and I'm blanking on the third one. But, those 3 guys.
Who did you say? David
Freeman.
Walter?
No, David Walter.
David Walter.
At least one way. I don't know. Yeah. It's got to be those 3.
They have 9. They're supposed to have 9 juniors this season. So that would be progress in that way. My top 5, I had Freeman 1, Howard 2. I had Falkton area 3. I had Elkton Lake Benton 4. I had Castlewood 5. So I guess when I was put to brass tacks, I didn't have Kimball White Lake in my top 5 in this class, but I do see the rationale with them as well. let's see, you had it. Yeah, Kimberly Lake was 4th in the actual poll. Castlewood was 5th. They had a first place vote. I mean, Alcester Hudson played in the semis last year. They're in the receiving votes group. Phillip
was a semifinalist.
Yeah.
Wall beat Howard 60-6 in last year's championships. Freeman was 12-0. Wall was 12-0. St. Mary's was 12-0. St. Thomas More was 12-0. Yeah, another class where you've got Wall moving down, so you're guaranteed a new champion. And yeah, 9B, there's Avon, and that's it for our area. And the 9A, you've got just all these other teams that moved up, so it kind of consolidates into these two classes here with coverage that we're concerned about.
I think the one team here that is astonishingly quiet would be Sully Buttes, considering they've been all over the 9B picture in the last few years. They've got just one vote here. I didn't vote for them in this poll, but certainly the pedigree of their program is pretty good, so maybe they're going to be heard from. I don't know. They've certainly graduated their share of players over the last few years there. Lyman, I know we talked about them last season as good athletes. We'll see if they're able to make a step forward this season as well. Howard, maybe Pat Rummel took offense to my comment just a minute ago about Jeff Van Leeuwen being the best 9-man coach, but certainly Howard, you can almost set your watch to them being, a team that wins 8 or 9 or 10 games this season.
Freeman has Howard on the schedule.
I mean, this is again where the Corn Belt thing becomes a little bit more legitimate, because I believe Bridgewater Emory Ethan is, I think, playing a lot of these teams.
Freeman does play Bridgewater, yeah.
So there's going to be some crossover there between some of these teams that are all in that little pocket of southeastern South Dakota.
And Alcester Hudson also on the Freeman schedule. So 9A, do you like Freeman? Who do you like? I'm going to like Parkston and 9AA. Any early favorites?
Well, I know we did this last year because I listened to it. We picked who we thought was going to be in the championship game. So I will take Howard over Freeman in 9A, and I will take Parkston over Hamlin in 9AA. And I don't know if we want to wait on 9B, but
yeah, we'll wait. I'll give me Howard, Elkton Lake, Benton, 9A. Howard wins.
Elkton Lake Benton has some really good athletes, and it's just a matter of who's going to be the quarterback, I would have to think, because they graduated their standout from a year ago.
I think Freeman, I don't know, you got to take a step back. You lose a lot. So not that they can't be replaced, but I'm going to have to see it. Who are those guys? So
I'll do Freeman over Howard.
9AA.
Oh, 9AA?
Sure.
Parkston over... Yeah.
Dead air.
Parkston over Platt.
Okay.
All right. 9B, a lot of returning teams. You had St. Mary's beat Avon 54-6 in another championship game that got out of hand early.
But can we just... I've been thrown off for the last 5 minutes by this.
What do we got?
You said Freeman beat Hill City by 10 last year? Did I manufacture that comment?
He did say that.
Was that in the playoffs?
There's no way that happened.
Was that in the
Freeman
playoffs?
beat everybody by 50 points last year.
Oh, who did Hill City beat? What was I looking at?
I've just been... I'm
who
not gonna lie.
did Hill City?
That whole segment, I was throwing... I'm like, I must have not...
Freeman with?
I must have not...
I'm looking at it.
Privy to that.
Try to look at it right now.
I believe that happened a couple years ago.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. Yep.
Okay.
But still a good win for, we're good. We can come and... Freeman was good 2 years ago.
I was so thrown off by... Because I didn't think Hill City and then played, and
and
that was 2 years
in the playoffs. They beat Garrettson, Kimball, White, Hamlin, and Elkton Lake Benton.
Not close.
So
we've got that.
Sorry, I just wanted to clear because we were comparing teams that weren't comparable in my mind.
St. Mary's at 1. They received 11 votes. Wall close behind. They received 9 first place votes. They're just 2 votes behind, so very close for the top of 9. B, you had Coleman Egan make a run to the semis. They're at number 5. Warner's in the mix at 3. Avon at 4. So yeah, as Marcus said, very intriguing class, if not a whole lot of area teams here. But Wall makes the move down. Wall was tremendous last year, and I think I like Wall to win this class.
So how do you like Wall to win this class, but you don't like Freeman to do the other class?
Who did Wall? What's Wall losing here? Everybody?
I mean, they basically I think lost everybody but the quarterback.
I like Wall because they don't play. Again, part of it's their schedule. They do play 2 9B teams. Everybody else is an A or AA team. Not that they're very good, but they don't play a 9B team until the last 2 weeks.
And just to be clear, this is not me hating on Wall because we're going to get to it in a second. I picked Wall as my number 1.
I think you're going to have to go out to Wall.
But I just was curious. I was curious to see how Travis viewed Wall because to me, Wall and Freeman would fall into a similar category of an incredible team from a year ago that just has some question marks because there's some production that needs to be replaced.
I think the path in the playoffs is tougher for Freeman.
That's certainly
for Howard, Elkton, Lake Benton, and then I look at
because I
Wall.
agree with
St. Mary's
you
excellent.
That,
Avon kind of on my list of sometimes in the big game it's kind of shaky there with the Pirates. So
I tend to agree with you that I think 9 single A will be tremendously competitive this year. So maybe, and I think 9B will be 2 to a degree, but I just think maybe just a little bit easier, one step down on that.
So I like Wall over St. Mary's, 2 over 1. So
I like Wall to win the state title over Del Rapids St. Mary as well. I really think we're going to have 2 teams that are 23 and have won 23 games in a row playing each other in the dome for the championship between Del Rapids St. Mary and Wall. Like if we're sitting here, we should be hoping that that's the game that we see because both were pretty dominant last season. Wall has lost some stuff. I didn't get to run the numbers on 9B, but they still have tremendous athletes, and I would think that they
they were the best 9AA team like 2 years ago. I have a hard time believing all that just disappeared overnight. You know what I mean?
And they were unquestionably the best 9A team last season. So
they would have been in the argument for I wanted to see them play Freeman.
Yeah,
I think they were in the argument for the best 9-man team. Period last year, certainly, and so I'm in agreement with that. It's very odd. I don't really like it that all 3 of us are picking the same thing, but yeah, Wall over St. Mary would be my pick. I circled KORNer, man, because when you go and look, I think they only lost 4 or 5 seniors from last year, and that was a team that very quietly was a semifinalist. And has been, and won a state title 2 or 3 years ago. Always there.
Their entire run lately has been quiet, except for the one game where them and Dubrook decided to not play any defense, and we all saw it on TV, and it was 70-40, whatever. Yes. So, my top 5 here was Wall, Del Rapids, St. Mary, KORNer, Avon, Harriet, Selby. I find it funny that 20 people voted in this poll, and we only came up with 6 different teams
in 9B of all divisions.
Just the teams that were good last year, pretty much.
Absolutely stunned me.
Pretty much.
As well. I think I have the same as Marcus, except I did vote for Coleman Egan of Wall, St. Mary, KORNer, Avon, Coleman Egan.
Big stretch in the middle of the season for St. Mary's. They host Avon. I'd give St. Mary's the edge. Then they host Coleman Egan the next week. That might be a good top 5 win. And then they host Elkton Lake Benton.
Yep.
So 3 really good home games in the middle of the season there. So to start, you got some wins. At the end, you got some favorable matchups in the middle there. Looking at a couple playoff teams in Elkton. So,
if we're thinking about what are Wall's toughest games of the season, they play Bennett County in the very first game. We know Bennett County's got some athletes. Now, what kind of football team are they going to have this year? I don't know. Games at Bennett County. You look at their road games. I mean, that's as good a chance as anybody probably has to beat them. They do go to Lyman. They do go to Cadoke area, but I think Travis is right. We get to the playoffs, everybody's going to be going to Wall again, and
I've heard they have a turf field.
They do have a turf field.
Really
Wall.
Things just
close proximity to the interstate.
Yep.
It's these lower level AA and A teams that Wall's got. It's all right, you should beat these teams. You've beaten them in the past, and it's all right, should be some good wins for them. So 9-man preview. We do have 11B, St. Thomas More. They were also undefeated last year. They beat Elk Point Jefferson. We were waiting for a good game, and finally it was 48-38. St. Thomas More and EPJ. Your Clark team, Clark Willow Lake, they were semifinalists, and Dual was in the mix. You take a look at what people like, and people like those teams. EPJ at 1, St. Thomas More at 2, people getting back on winner at number 3, and then Dual and Sioux Valley round out the top 5. St. Thomas More undefeated, EPJ. Those are your 2 teams from last year. And does it look any different here at the end of the season? Do we get a rematch?
I think there's a good chance that Elk Point Jefferson and St. Thomas More play each other again for the state championship. Much like 9AA, I had a hard time filling out 3, 4, and 5 in this class. I did in some ways default back to how last season ended. I had Elk Point Jefferson 1, St. Thomas More 2, Dual 3, Clark Willow Lake 4, and Winter 5.
All right.
I think both those teams, Dual has 18 seniors on the roster. They have 16 juniors. They did graduate 11 seniors a year ago. Clark Willow Lake, 12 seniors last season, 10 seniors this year, 13 juniors. St. Thomas More, I gave Elk Point Jefferson the edge ever so slightly, even though St. Thomas More won the state title because St. Thomas More lost a little bit more off their roster than Elk Point Jefferson did. And then Winter, I think, is an interesting question. No question had a struggle of a season last year. They were seeded 11th, got to the quarterfinals, and
New coach.
They lost 11 seniors. Now they have 10 seniors this year, and they have 10 juniors. Now, Winter is as well drilled as any team is in running their stuff, knowing what the system is. I would bet they're not changing very much in terms of what Winter does on offense or defense. So how quickly can they get that thing up and running? It's funny, they play Hot Springs again, very first game like they have the last couple of years. And I know we thought that was a very big game last year. It didn't end up being that way in terms of the season, but that's one to watch here right off the bat.
Can Winter score some points? Because the defense was, pretty good. It was the offense that just couldn't win those games. Woonsocket, Weston Springs, Sanborn Central had the good start to the year, and then they were the team that lost to Winter in the playoffs, 20-12. So you got a lot of area teams here too.
They lost almost as many seniors as anybody. They had
a step back.
They had 14 seniors last year. They have 5 this season, or they're supposed to have 5. Same could be said for Wagner. Lost their quarterback, part of 10 seniors from a year ago. They're supposed to have just 5 this year. Mount Vernon Plankinton is an interesting team. They only graduated 6 seniors last year. They only have 4 on their roster this year. Second year under their coach. I'm guessing they'll make some progress that way. 5-5 a season ago. Sioux Valley is one I don't really know. They had 13 seniors last season. 5-5 has kind of been a perennial team. You kind of put them in the same bucket as Winter. So that will be one to watch as well. McCook Central Montrose only had 3 seniors last year. So if you're looking for maybe a team that we're not necessarily thinking about, they were 5-4. They have 10. They're supposed to have 10 seniors this year. Schedule's tough. Yep.
MCM, they got to go, or they play Elk Point Jefferson, they play Dual, they play Clark.
Yeah, that's going to be hard.
It's a gauntlet for them.
3 hard games right there.
St. Thomas More plays Winter September 11th, so that'll be maybe an early test to see where Winter stands.
And St. Thomas More for that matter.
St. Thomas More, Wagner, Woonsocket, Westington Springs, Sanborn Central, an opener there. We'll have that game on Corn Country 90-1. So I'll give it to St. Thomas More again. We'll have a rematch, same results.
Rematch, I'll give it to Elk Point Jefferson this time.
Yeah, rematch, and I'm going with the Huskies.
We'll get to the other 11-man classes next week. Sioux Falls Christian, a unanimous number 1 in 11A. Pierre, not quite a unanimous number 1 in AA. And then you've got Lincoln leading the pack in AAA. Again, may I just say, atrocious. Sturgis gets a first-place vote. I mean, they finished 5th in this poll. It's ridiculous that anybody would vote Sturgis above Pierre.
My head was screwed on correctly for that, and I did vote for Pierre as the number 1 team.
Are you kidding me? It's like, okay. Really?
Did Sturgis beat Pierre last year? I think we had a whole...
Sturgis beat Yankton, right?
Yankton, yeah.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yep.
Like, I don't know about that. Huron at 2 is kind of a...
I don't know about that.
It's kind of a prove it to me year for Huron. They were probably the most surprising team in the class. It's like, okay, can you do it again, Huron?
All right, let's just go through who we voted for.
And they had what felt like a boatload of seniors that was a part of it.
I don't know.
Because you're not going to like what I have to say about this.
Probably. If I were to eyeball this year, my uneducated opinion, since this is the class I would know the most about, Pierre would be at 1, Yankton would be at 2. Yeah, I do like T at 3. You give one of those West River teams in the mix, Watertown at 4, and Spearfish been pretty good. Sturgis been all right.
Sturgis has turf now.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Sturgis at 5. It seems like that 5 spot just continually changing week by week. But again, it's like, who's going to lose to Pierre? This is come back and talk to me. It's like this.
Not having Huron in your top 5. That's kind of ridiculous.
I have almost the same exact.
I wouldn't put Huron in the top 5. They were borderline, I think, top 5 last year. Who do you got here, Marcus?
I had Pier 1, Huron 2, Yankton 3, T Area 4, and Spearfish 5.
It's Spearfish instead of Sturgis.
Yes.
The exact same top 4.
Yeah.
I like Huron, that's kind of,
Don't they have quite a few of their skill players back?
Maybe they weren't very skilled last year. Huron.
Isn't the Porish kid still the quarterback?
He graduated.
I think Huron takes a step back.
Isn't there a younger brother, too?
He definitely plays offensive line.
Okay.
Anderson, Carter, yeah. So we will see.
I think.
Anyway,
Tight ends.
I didn't know if you were punishing them for having the lights out.
No, I just don't think they're very good.
No one's going to see their games because they're playing at 4 p.m.
Yeah. Or everybody's going to see their games.
I did run the numbers on this, so just to defend myself.
Defend Huron here.
Please tell me I'm wrong. I would
defend Huron.
To,
who do you? What did you say?
I just said it. I think I had a very similar top 5 to you.
Pierre Yankton T. Pierre Yankton
I guess
T. Top 3.
I guess Porsche is back at quarterback for what it's worth.
That's what I thought.
But you just go.
So Huron had 11. They had 11 seniors. That was the fewest of anybody last year. They have 17. They're supposed to have 17 this year. 14 juniors. A lot of the AAA or AA rosters aren't out there anymore. Pierre. This is where I can't make an argument. There is no argument to vote for anybody else at number 1. They had 17 seniors last year. 28 seniors this year. And a lot of their better players are seniors.
Quarterback's really good.
This upcoming season. Yankton graduated a lot, 25 seniors from a year ago. Brookings graduated 27 seniors last year.
Brookings seems like that team that goes from 2 wins to 8 wins to 2 wins to 8 wins, just back and forth. So
now I'm not gonna.
Pierre, sorry, just to finish this thought. Yep. Pierre has 3 All-State players back. Spearfish has 2. They've got the quarterback and the wide receiver. And then Yankton has 2. They got an alignment and a defensive back. Watertown's got a tight end back. So.
Yes, Landon.
But okay, I sold Huron maybe just a touch short, but you look at the guys they lost to graduation based on roster. Mason Juergens, Landon Holst, who was, I think, an all-state running back, or at least he probably should have been if he wasn't. Riley Winiger was a starter for them. Oakley Anderson was maybe their best defensive player, or at least what I would consider the heartbeat of their defense. He was kind of he's a little dude, but like a spark plug who played linebacker. Where did I see this? Charlie Martin was one of their better linemen. And then, you can laugh at it for what it's worth because he's thought of as the basketball player, and then he only played half the season last year, but they did lost Blake Elwine.
I saw him throw some lobs to him.
It's not nothing. It's a weapon at the very least. It's like they didn't lose nothing.
I just think they won 8 games last year. Sometimes I can become a product too much of looking at just the sheer numbers of who's out and, in terms of seniors and who's back. But to lose the fewest number of seniors from a year ago at 11, that caught my attention. That's why I have them as high as I do. Yankton, the pedigree speaks for itself. They're going to be a top 5 team by season's end. T area, a team that was on the younger side and probably
a lot of injuries at the end of the year.
Injuries. Probably played their worst game of the season against Mitchell and still ended up winning.
Watertown, again, I like them at the end.
I think a lot of this, and maybe Travis is in the same boat. I don't want to speak for him, but
speak for him.
The way Huron ended their season really soured me.
It was tough.
Oh, they played good teams and they lost.
They lost to Brookings, and then they beat Brookings
7-2
in the ugliest game
they
played.
It's so impressive.
And then they got beat by
well. They didn't play well in Mitchell too.
That's not what I said. I didn't say they were very impressive.
I give them credit.
I think they're number. I don't think they're very good.
I give them some credit for beating Pierre, but that was a 1-score game, and then they lost to Pierre later in the year.
Yeah. Clearly, Pierre was a different team in the second half of the season. I mean, that was obvious.
They hung on and beat Spearfish by 2. I mean, if you flip a couple of those results.
Close.
I mean, isn't that the story of this entire class, too?
Kind of.
For everybody.
I get it, but we've seen this. We talked about this, you and I. Teams ebb and flow in this class. It's I think this is a team that maybe comes back down to earth.
I'm not even talking about double A.
I don't want to
back and forth. Good.
If we want to save it for next week or not,
Probably.
But of the teams that finished below 500, Aberdeen was 3-7, Douglas was 0-9,
Nope.
Mitchell was 1-7, 1-8, excuse me. Sturgis, I guess. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong column. Sorry. Aberdeen was 2-7, Douglas was 0-9, Mitchell was 1-8. Everybody else was 500 or better. So your 500 teams were Brookings, Spearfish, T area, Watertown. Of that group, who do you like the most?
I don't think anybody moves up. A team I think could move down, but I was thoroughly unimpressed with all those teams you mentioned. I did not like Aberdeen, and
I mean, Watertown went from being 10-2 to 5-5 last year, so they already kind of did that.
And I like them.
T area has been 5-5 now 2 years in a row. And we are saving this for next week.
Yeah,
the schedule talk, because it's a huge thing in this class. It's way bigger than I anticipated. Land and I have already scouted this out. They do play a AAA team, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's interesting.
Pierre does not. Pierre plays 9 AA teams.
Yeah.
And Mitchell plays West Central.
It's imbalanced.
It's good.
Save that for next week.
It's good. I will say it is good.
We will dive into that next week.
Who gets the AAA? Who gets the Class A? Who gets none of them?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
we'll map that out and talk about it more next week.
Pier starts with Sturgis. Week 2, they go at Yankton. That'll be a big, okay. Those are the 2 teams I like in this class. And then after that, I think Pier rolls everybody. They're road games, good road games. They got to go to Brookings. They got to go to Douglas. They got to go to Watertown. So
they got to get on a bus.
So I like, Pier to beat everybody. So we'll save it for next week. The schedule, we can break it down. There we go.
Yep.
You were at the Twins game yesterday. You got, what do you call it? The Kramer Crazies. Dean Kramer had a really good start until it wasn't. Palpable energy in the stadium.
I won't say it on the air, but
Kramer.
I did come up with something.
All right.
And I will not say it here.
So you can't, it's that great.
It's that great. Mean Dean. I'm sitting there and I'm thinking it. I don't know if all the 29,000 other fans that were there were thinking it. Like, hey, let's not let him go 3 times through the order. Let's get him out before then. Well, the guy who makes that call, not Rocco Baldelli. What's his name now?
Shelty. Derek Shelton. The complete opposite in every way. He left him in there.
He didn't think he overdid it, waiting too long. And Mean Dean got creamed. And it was tough. So they lost. They had a 5-0 lead and they lost. That's tough. So, but
as it goes.
It was the annual family sweet game, so we enjoyed ourselves greatly.
It was also
it was a sweet game, and it was a sweet game.
Did I also see it was Iowa State alumni night?
Yeah, there was a sweet couple down from us.
How'd Marcus Pfizer look?
Some Iowa State people, no Jimmy Rogers in the sweep.
Does he even care
probably
anymore?
A little preoccupied.
He's not an alumni.
Camp. He's not an alumni either. He's the face of the university, though, the scowling face of the university. So
Twins lose to the Phillies 4-10 this month. A rough stretch.
Might be fading a little bit here. Might be fading just a touch.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, 4-10 would indicate that they are.
You cannot get knocked out of this playoff race. Like, it is impossible to just get. They're out of it. They're a game and a half back in this garbage.
Too many teams in the way. You can't get knocked out.
And now Detroit is in the mix. Your Blue Jays are in the mix. Baltimore is the team leading at the moment. Cleveland has been terrible for 3 weeks. They're a game and a half out. 4 games under 500. These teams, Seattle's been garbage for a month, and were they 4 out? And I'm sure they're gonna make a little bit of a run, and they're gonna be in this. So I don't see this. I mean, we're very late in the season here. We're in the second half of August. We're getting down to 35 to go here, and there's. Hell, the other nights we were messaging on that popular messages app. Yeah. And at one time there were 4 teams tied for this spot at the moment. 4 teams tied for this final wild card spot. So, can any team just go on a Red Sox type of run? So I don't know. White Sox swept the Tigers, so the White Sox kind of take control of the division. And at this point, it's like, okay, White Sox kind of move on here and see if you can get that one of those top 2 seeds. I like Detroit to take the final spot, but Yankees are there, Red Sox are there. Red Sox are not playing good all of a sudden. They lost a bunch of games in a row, but I do like Detroit to get out of this mess despite being swept. And the Twins, I think they'll get, final couple weeks, they'll still be within striking distance. They got to play all these teams. They got games against Detroit and Chicago left, and Texas.
As was pointed out after Sunday's loss, they've struggled because they played the National League here, and they're in the midst of playing the National League, and that's where the better teams are. So I'm guessing a lot of baseball has already played them. Some of baseball will play them here, American League, over the last month, I'm sure. I don't know if they're the teams that matter or not, but
they got the Braves this weekend. They got the Padres. So
yeah, it's tough. It's tough, guys.
Do you like that they kind of group all these interleague games together to where for like 10 days in a row you're going to be playing?
That's what it used to be. You have your pitchers take batting practice.
Because for like 2 weeks, you're like, oh yeah, these are the when you used to play only 6 of these. They can
played more than that. But yeah,
six series. You would play the other league. It'd be like 3 here and then 3 there.
I liked that. I liked when they did that.
When you knew you were going to play.
Can't do it when you got a number of teams. You have interleague throughout the year. So
Tommy John died over the weekend. He put out a statement a week ago saying, thank you for everything. 83 years old. Really good career, long career. I think he pitched 26 years. Like, should he just be in the Hall of Fame just because of the surgery? He's in the Hall of Very Good. He's not, he's on that second cusp of, probably not a Hall of Famer, but you won 288 games. You had a really good career, 4-time All-Star, but just because of the surgery. I mean, I think, what was the number? Like 2,600 Major League pitchers have had the surgery, just based on that.
Did I see that it was basically his idea too?
I don't know.
It was basically like, hey,
why can't we do this?
You know how you do transplants on all these other body parts? What if you took some ligament out of my leg and put it in my elbow and see what happens? I think that's what I read is like.
It was the Dodgers team.
That would make sense why they named it after
right.
him, not like.
Yeah. So
it's not just some other replacement surgery,
Yeah.
Who was the second guy to get it? We never hear about that.
Tommy Joe.
We don't hear about that.
He was honored before the game because he was a Twins broadcaster in the mid-'90s for a few years before I really was watching. But, yeah, I mean, I was when I saw the number of wins, I thought,
how is he?
You could put him in the Hall of Fame.
He's like at 40 WAR. So
yeah,
longevity, important part of baseball history. Russell Westbrook retired. That was kind of surprising.
Significant.
18 years. That's another Hall of Fame type guy.
This was the Hall of Fame weekend for basketball. Amari Stoudemire got in. I was a little surprised.
Of all the Hall of Fames, this is the one that I'm like, this guy got in. Like football, It's like, okay, Adrian Peterson, Gronkowski next year, though that's no. Roethlisberger, I think, should get in right away. That's like, yes. We had a friend of ours, I brought up Roethlisberger. He's like, I don't know about me. He's like 5th all time in yards and 7th in it's like, dude, he won 2 Super Bowls. It's like he's in. The basketball one.
He was on the second best AFC franchise for
15 years. So I think he's
good for Amari Stoudemire. I mean, he was a 6-time All-Star.
Basketball's the one where it's like
first team All-NBA only once, second team 4 times.
Like he got
Rookie of the Year.
He had the injury, the knee injury, microfracture, and came back and was still good after that. But he had a very high peak, you would say, and then there was post-injury, and career probably wasn't as good as he thought it would be. But that's a guy where you have to think about it, where it's not an automatic. Oh yeah, he's in. It's like, well, let me take a look.
I know we talked a while back about the people that went from high school to the pros. He was one of the better ones in terms of making that happen. So
one thing that like I can see it both ways is I feel like some halls of fame feel like they're a little too snobby, unlike they're too elitist.
Baseball,
yeah. I think football strikes kind of like the perfect balance, and then the NBA is a little bit too far on this side of things. But I appreciate a Hall of Fame that can be like, okay, that guy's peak might not have been.
He wasn't MVP
a million years. Well, a million years. Like you have to be like. In the MLB, it feels like you both have to have like an incredible peak and a long career.
Johan Santana's not in.
Which
the NBA feels like you can do one or the other. Like if you had a high peak like Amari Stoudemire did, but maybe like your overall career numbers are not crazy, like you can get in the Hall of Fame.
And you can be injured and get in.
There was a time there where like Amari Stoudemire was right there with Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett as like the best 4s in the West on some of those Suns teams that were really fun.
Which I think just for regular people, I think that's what makes the Joe Mauer first ballot thing interesting because he didn't have the longest career. His peak was very good for a catcher.
Oh, I mean, it's, yeah.
And I mean, I realize
that's the thing. I think the as a catcher thing really added to Joe Mauer's
MVP.
case.
He got 3 batting titles. He had 365. And then and I was looking at it like 2012, he was still good, and then the concussions took their toll. It's like, he had 7 or 8 really solid years. So that was good to see Joe Mauer get in the first ballot. And then Kirby Puckett, had 10, 11 really good years and could have played a couple more, and he got in right away. So
he did.
Joey Votto had interesting comments about like the steroid guys, and it's like, maybe put him in. It's like, why do we pick him and we don't pick him?
Yeah, it's inconsistent.
And I would say like baseball, the better, and maybe sports in general, the better you are, the more the cheating mattered. Like Mike Piazza cheated. He's in the Hall of Fame. Like David Ortiz came up on the 2003 private test, the anonymous tests. Like, he was one of the guys that actually tested positive for whatever, and he gets in. But Clemens and Bonds and A-Rod and Sosa and McGuire, like the best of the steroid guys, is like, you're not getting in. It's like, well, all these other guys, you're going to get in. It's like, why are we putting
with a lot of those guys that you just mentioned, there was like an element of like, hey, watch me do this though.
Like I'm the best without the drugs, and then I'm going to take the drugs, and I'm going to be the best with the drugs.
The Ortiz thing is funny though, because that was ostensibly before he really blew up.
Yeah.
And
it was right when he left the Twins,
Right.
and then he goes to Boston, and he's pretty good. Oh, how'd that happen?
And you would think he was being tested more, right, as his career went on, but then somehow he's still amazing.
Who did he play with?
Boston.
Manny Ramirez.
Yeah.
Is he in the Hall of Fame? No.
Yeah.
Was he better than Ortiz? Yes.
That's entirely inconsistent.
And Manny Ramirez is not a Hall of Famer. So those were the thoughts. Yes?
Vikings, quarterback. What are your thoughts?
I don't know if I even want to watch this yet. Wait, I don't know.
Because
Like,
of
it's
Kyler,
not a
because of
surprise.
Kyler Murray. No, it's not.
No,
surprise.
not because of him.
Why would you not want to watch this?
Because I'm not interested.
That's not true.
Well, I'm not interested. I didn't watch the game on
Well, I didn't either.
Saturday.
But why would you not be interested?
What am I interested in?
You tell me.
Nothing. I'm nothing. I'm not interested in it. What should I be interested in? Kyler Murray comes in. He probably does pretty good, as every GD, got to get one of those in, quarterback does for the past 30 years. I don't know. It's like, okay. I told who did I tell? I told somebody.
I told the guy.
Like, oh, what do you think about the Vikings? Well, here, is it going to be Brian Flores or Mike Tomlin next year? That's who I'm concerned about right now. Do you give Flores the job? Do you go for a big fish in Mike Tomlin? That's what I'm concerned about with this team.
I'm a little bothered. I mean, I'll get over it, but the whole, just this JJ thing, and he may be a head case. Like, he may flat out stink. The highlights were going around of his very first preseason game from 2 years ago. He looked pretty good, and he's consistently regressed since then. Now, I know he's been hurt. He had the knee, and he had the hand, and he had the whatever. I just cannot wrap my head around it. I know I've said it on here before, that Kevin O'Connell, supposed to be the quarterback whisperer, was not willing to play ball with helping JJ McCarthy. And there was so much of this blame put on Kwesi as the GM. And now he's gone. And I mean, if they don't want JJ, just trade him, I guess. Even though I think you still could get something out of him in terms of an actual quarterback. And also Kyler might get hurt. You might need him.
Yeah, you probably need him.
I
get a 4th round pick for him?
I'm guessing probably a 5th.
At this point, I would rather keep him than get the 120th pick in the draft.
I'm just bothered, and I'm going to be bothered for
he can't figure him out. He can't figure McCarthy out.
Wasn't willing.
Gave him 8 starts, 10 starts?
Yeah.
And he was good
starts.
again. I'll say this until I can't say no more. Like, he was good at the end of the year. The last 4 games, he was good enough to where I would say, okay, you can be the starter next year. You were really good.
And maybe he's a blockhead that nobody likes, and he's just a pain in everybody's rear end. But you still...
Like, you don't hear that. You don't hear it's like, oh, they hate them. There was nothing that, oh, Jefferson hates him, or they just can't figure it out. It's like...
Well, he's what true. Isn't Jefferson the one who, like, basically said, like, we got to get somebody else thrown?
No, he didn't say that earlier.
Like, what
this
is he,
year.
22 still? 23?
Yeah.
This is his 3rd year. If you keep him, you've got that 5th-year option, 4th year next year. You have to decide, what are we doing? And if he plays a couple games this year, and you still don't know, they're probably not going to pick that up. So you're going to next year. Yeah, is Baker Mayfield the quarterback next year? Do we just do this again?
This is my whole thing, though. Like, they're never
no plan.
They're never going to get out of this if you just keep doing. And I know it's literally the Vikings' heritage to just do 1-year quarterbacks all the time. But I don't. Why did you take him if you didn't have the patience to work with him? It drives me nuts.
Good. I'm glad, because that sucks for me too. Good.
Maybe. But I'm still going to watch the games because that's part of my heritage too.
I don't know how realistic it is, but
you want him over there in Pittsburgh next year?
Yeah, you take him.
No. I wasn't a fan of him coming out of Michigan. I'm not a fan of his now, so why would I want him?
No.
But you said Baker Mayfield, and I know this isn't the way the NFL works, but all other things equal, if Baker Mayfield is on the Vikings, I think the Vikings are like a legitimate Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
How many times have we heard that, though? This guy comes here, Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Warren Moon comes here, Super Bowl.
I did hear somebody say that they should trade him to the Steelers.
I know, but it's a common thing of a quarterback away if they can just get a son of a gun to throw the ball.
I heard somebody say that they should trade him to the Steelers so that he can be behind Aaron Rodgers like he was supposed to be with the Vikings last year. Behind Aaron Rodgers. Didn't end up happening.
The Packers have figured this out.
Yeah.
You pick a guy, you let him sit for 3 years. There's no rush.
Yeah.
And then you put him out there. His first year is a little bumpy. and you're pretty good for the next 10 to 15. It seems like they just did not have a plan. You get him the first year, you've got Darnold. Okay, you sit behind Darnold. He was really good. Year 2, you let Darnold go. It's like, okay, now we got a rookie. Year off, injury or not, he's ready to go. You don't play him in the preseason. He gets hurt right away. You bring him back. He sucks. He gets hurt again. He's really good at the end of the season. Well, we got to get somebody else in here.
But frankly, if the GM and the coach aren't on the same page, and they literally, the GM takes him and the coach isn't on board, why does the coach get to survive that? Like, shouldn't they both basically be fired now?
Because a lot of his other draft moves have not been good.
KOC has better PR. He's got a better image than Kwesi does. That battle was waged this offseason, and he won. But it bothers me. It really bothers me.
They didn't have a plan with this. It was obviously
well, they did until we had to put the cards on the table.
It was Darnold, and then you don't give a guy like 8 starts and say, "Oh, yeah, we're moving on."
Yeah,
like you just don't see that. And if you do move on, it's like, well, this didn't work. It was so bad.
They weren't committed to either route.
No, it's not like Darnold was going to stay. Darnold was here for one. He's like, all right, I'm going to leave.
That was his chance to get paid, and he did. And it worked out for him.
I'm very uninterested in this season. And Kyler Murray needs all these reps. I hear he needs a lot of reps. What do you play? 1 series?
Yeah, he threw 3 passes.
And he'll play maybe 1 series, 2 series, and then he won't play in this 3rd game. And game 1, be like, oh, yeah, he doesn't look so good. Well, maybe play him in the preseason.
Somebody did point out that Darnold didn't play much when he was with the Vikings, and he
picked it up.
And he didn't look that good in the joint practices, and then he came out.
Well, here's the thing. Kyler Murray, kind of a stupid idiot.
I don't personally...
If I believe the video game rumors...
I don't personally know him, so I'm not going to say that about his character, but...
What a mess, Landon.
It's been out there.
Can we talk about some more NFL that's not...
Sure, we got the college poll out. We'll get to that next week.
I love that the Viking or the Dolphins, just because it's halfway local. The Dolphins cut one Mark Gronowski, and then had the single worst quarterback performances combined of all time in their preseason game, and then they re-signed him today. Do you see that?
I don't know if that's
they're 3 quarterbacks when they combined 8 for 24 for 50 yards and 3 picks.
And as far as I'm concerned, that's all anybody needs to look at. I'm sure there might have been more to the story. I'm not bothering to look at any of that. I just find it funny that you cut him, you have the crap quarterback, and then you pick him up again. I'm sure there's more to it. I'm not interested in learning what that is.
Exactly. I don't care. I'm not saying he should be the starter. I'm not saying any of that. I just think it's a hilarious visual that we cut this guy because he's the worst option we have. Is he really worse than that?
What about the Minnesota State Moorhead guy who's been the only active quarterback for the Falcons in camp so far? Because Tua's been hurt. The other guy's been hurt.
And then the coach?
Penix.
Who's the coach down there now?
For Atlanta?
Yeah. Said they actually think he's coming along as a pass.
What are we doing with these random guys?
That would be Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah.
Once of the Vikings.
You've got 2 not terrible quarterbacks.
Former NFL Coach of the Year, Kevin Stefanski.
What do they do with these guys? Why do they say this stuff?
They got to say something. It's like,
hey, no, he's coming along. He's doing pretty good. I think he's got a chance to make the roster. Not be a...
Well, it's what we had the week when Max Brosman was going to start.
What are we doing?
He's behind Michael Penix and Tua turn the ball over.
Yeah, if they both get hurt, which is likely, but he's not better than any of those guys.
How do you know?
I'm going to stake my reputation. Who's this guy?
Penix is a guy who he's like a walking injury too.
A lot of injuries, so. And I also
between the 2 of them, is that the most injury-prone quarterback room of all time?
You need to. Oh, you used it. You used the room. Yeah, probably. One for the knee and one for the head. It's 2 different. The head and the body.
It's.
I also don't like things we don't like.
Yeah.
Oh, now he's competing for number 2 with Carson Wentz. He's not even guaranteed the backup spot because we need this stupid jack off from Fargo. Carson Wentz. Do we need 3 quarterbacks? Do we need 4 quarterbacks? Max Brosmer doesn't need to be on the team.
He's going to be on the practice squad.
Why? For what? Just because
he might be a coach someday. He's really smart.
Well, it's like Ponder was really smart. He graduated in 2.5 years.
From Florida State.
He was really smart. He just couldn't play football worth a damn. So, yeah. So that's stupid, too. Just Carson Wentz and McCarthy's going to go.
But
you know what?
If you're the head coach and you demand your offense be run a certain way and you hate the guy you drafted a couple years ago, then you're going to keep Wentz.
It was I remember They're like, okay, we're going to stop coaching J.J. McCarthy, and then he became good.
Yes.
Oh, we're going to stop doing all this stuff, and then all of a sudden,
Like, why are
he's really
people
good.
not pressing him more on, if your
What
offense
changed?
is too complicated,
What changed?
you got to dumb it down.
What changed? So
I'm sorry you think you're a big, great offensive NFL coach.
he's an idiot.
Fix it.
Run the damn ball. So
They couldn't do that last year.
defense needs to be really good, and we'll see.
Yeah.
See if I get excited. So, you know where you're going Friday nights?
I am disappointed to let you guys know that I haven't figured any of this out
I
yet.
might go to Wagner. I don't know. We'll see.
Has Marcus sent you this link where you can pick all
Yes.
Yeah,
1,000?
you need to do that before next
I got to
week.
do with the other dude, and I got to pick that.
We need to do that. You need to commit to
did
doing
it.
it
You
because
did
we're going
it.
to talk about it. Yes.
The
We still
win.
got what? Is it next weekend? Is these week zeros
Yes.
or the week after?
Yes,
It's
next
next
weekend.
weekend. So
And the win totals, the Vegas win totals, have been in my car for like 3 weeks.
the slips.
I've forgotten to bring them
We
in
got to talk about it next week.
next week.
We'll
It's
get
not
that done
optional.
soon.
It's mandatory now.
All right, college football and the rest of the high school action. A recap of week 0 and everything else going on. For Marcus, for Landon, for Travis, this has been another edition of the Corner Booth Podcast.